I was expecting a 4-bed dorm room with outdoor showers. Instead, we were shown into a large bedroom with 3 comfy beds, a TV set, and perfect plumbing. To be honest, it was better than a lot of the hotels where I've stayed in China. If you decide to stay at a temple to witness morning prayers, do check what time they start, because the time varies from temple to temple. Among the guests here are many long-term residents who, for less than 200 RMB a night, get to live among the monks.
你谈了几久？多长时间？
差不多有2年多吧。
2年多啊？是你为什么要弹这个古琴？
古琴音乐，这是儒家讲这个。
I'm no expert on Buddhism, but I do know that most of the monks at the temples here are pretty well educated, the higher than degree level. You see, not just any monk can live on Putuo Shan. The monasteries here are Buddhist academic institutions, so they are quite selective about their residents.
Go.
很好。
还好啊。He says I'm alright. I thought it was kind of fun. That's called a gao, and anything played with my 3rd finger on your right hand is called a gao. So quite fun. I'm going to continue my lesson. 好，还有啦，还有。
好，不要再挑。
In a quaint, old-fashioned way, these monk scholars are considered gentlemen, and in China, the sign of a gentleman is his guqin. Many of the monks here belong to guqin associations, in which they come together to practice the art of this ancient instrument that has over 5,000 years of history. The best thing is that when you watch a practice session, you don't have to know much about the instrument or the music being played to appreciate the beautiful sound. I'd like to say that the guqin was sort of like a zither, but that wouldn't be entirely accurate. It's a 5-string instrument, but in the past, it had as many as 10 strings. But even with just 5 strings, I can tell you from experience, it's not an easy instrument to play. Of course, you can always come up with some sort of impromptu piece, but to play it properly, that takes a fair bit of training. Sitting with the monks and watching them practice is really very relaxing. Actually, there's something about Putuo Shan on the whole that just exudes a sense of tranquility. I wouldn't normally take the time to sit with a cup of green tea in the shade of trees that I'm sure are older than I am, listening to music that didn't come from my iPod. But being here, it all seems so natural, so easy, like something I could do every day without even thinking about it.
At Putuo Mountain, you can stay and eat at most of the monasteries. They're mostly vegetarian meals, but there's one rule: you can't waste anything. So you gotta take a little and as much as you want, whenever you want. But there's also another rule: you can't raise your voice, and you have to speak really quietly when you're in here, which is why we're talking in hushed tones right now.
Now, a mere 20-minute walk away from Shuangchuan Temple is the beach. There are 2 famous beaches on Putuo Shan, the 1,000-step beach and the 100-step beach, which also goes by the name Taiyuan Beach. It's a little cold at the moment to go for a swim, but if you're looking for some adventure, you can rent jet skis and dune buggies. Otherwise, you might want to join the monks for some reflective moments of meditation. As for me, I decided to join a group of local girls in their yoga session. I have to admit, this is my first yoga lesson, so give me a break and don't call me telling me that my leg wasn't high enough or my arms should have been stretched out further. I'm just happy I managed to come out of the lesson without a pulled muscle or cramp. You don't have to worship Guanyin or even be Buddhist to enjoy Putuo Mountain. When you're surrounded by vast amounts of greenery and wide open beaches, it's not hard to find something you like doing. But for now, I'm going to take the Zen route and enjoy the rest of my yoga session. From Putuo-shan, we take a ferry across to one of the biggest fish markets in the area, located in the port of Shenzhen. I'm a city girl, so there's a real novelty for me in hanging around a fish market in the early morning. I don't usually fare too well with the smell of fish first thing in the morning, but the thought of fresh seafood pulled straight from the fishing boats is just making my mouth water. It's almost hypnotic watching the fishermen unload the boats. They have a well-oiled chain system for transferring boxes of ice and seafood from one man to the next until the box reaches the little carts that are used to transport the seafood from the dock to the market. In the old days, you'd see wooden fishing boats in the port of Shenzhen. But these days, the beautiful old craft has been replaced with big, modern, mechanized vessels. If you ask me, I still prefer the wooden variety. The Chen family has been making wooden boats for 3 generations, and they were one of the oldest families in the area to continue the tradition. But the lack of demand for full-size boats made them shift their focus to models of the original wooden boats.
这样子。
这样子。
但是这个作坊什么时间开始的？
我们的作坊是我的太爷爷的1900年的时候就开始。
但是你什么时间开始？
我是1975年中学毕业以后，就是开始那个投入了这造船的项目。
The boats made by the Chen family are entirely handmade in the true tradition of the wooden boats from which the area is famous. The workmanship is highly intricate and every detail is perfect, from the Ming Dynasty style window frames to the sails. If you want to buy a large version of the boat, it'll set you back more than 100,000 RMB. But you can get cheaper and smaller, but perhaps not as detailed alternatives for a couple of hundred RMB.
This 要多长时间做的？
这个要雕刻出来难度是非常大的，但是这艘船整体造了2个工人造了4个月多。
哇。
造了4个月多。但是
挺难的，挺小。
造实船的时候呢，我们要根据它的比例啊，这种比如说它是1比20的，我们就1比20的放大，就是这样子测出来的。
这个船能下水吗？
这个船能下水，它在下水的时候，它也自己会航行。如果是它有风的时候，它肯定会跑得很快。
是吗？
哎，对。
你试过吗？
试过，肯定它不会漏水。
4 generations of this family have been making wooden sailboats, from the life-size operational versions to the miniature versions like this. And you can even work it, see? You open this and go below deck. Hey, what's going on there? Hoist the sails, sailor. Aye, aye, Captain. There is one boat in the Zhoushan Islands that's more famous than all the others. It's the Green Eyebrow, and I'm about to hop on board and have a little chat with the captain. This 床上面有这个2个大眼睛，有什么意思吗？
这个东西呢，说法呢也有很多啊。一种说法呢，这个传的眼睛呢是辟邪的，有这么辟邪的。这是海上嘛，捕鱼的话呢，到海上航行的话呢，这个风险比较大，是吧？这个2只眼睛呢，可以辟邪的，下面有什么妖怪啊什么，看见这个眼睛又怕的。这也是一种说法。人一种说法呢，这个眼睛呢是捕鱼的这种说法呢，这2只眼睛呢，它要看到下面有鱼没有鱼的话呢，它这个2只眼睛开到的，这人眼睛一样啊，哎，可以看到下面有鱼的，这个2睛有这个2种意思。
很有意思。
哎，对对。
The green eyebrow is moored in Xinjiang port, and you can take a dinghy across the water and climb on board for a tour of the boat and a meeting with the captain. He only speaks Chinese though, so it may be handy to have a translator on hand if you can't speak the language. The green eyebrow is a replica of an ancient sailing ship. These days, the green eyebrow is an unofficial ambassador of China's ocean shipping culture. The captain speaks proudly of a voyage the ship once made from Zhoushan to Korea, and it traveled the good old-fashioned way using sails and manpower. The captain recommended the local restaurant at the eateries around the corner. Zhoushan has over 1,300 islands, and Xinjiang, the largest port of them all, is booming with the fishing industry. And right next to it is a nice seafood street where you can get the freshest, most beautiful seafood cooked in any way you want. So, I'm going to go and find me some nosh. Great for some late night dining. Hello, 欢迎光临。哦，你好。这个是什么鱼啊？ You can tell it's really fresh if it's still jumping like that. 这个是什么鱼？
这个是美国王鱼。
美国 American something fish. Pretty cool. Along the seafront here, you'll find a long street of restaurants where the fresh seafood is cooked on the spot. I really shouldn't be playing with my food before I eat it, but when there's seafood in front of me that's still swimming, I need to know that it's the real deal. We might only been to a couple of places out of the 1,300 Zhoushan Islands, but you get a pretty good idea of what to expect. Great food, a lot of leisurely activities, and if you're religious and pray to Guanyin, the goddess of mercy, well, you know where to go, Putuo Mountain. So, I hope you've enjoyed our trip to the Zhoushan Islands. I'm Michelle Lean. Thanks for watching Travelogue. In the meantime, keep those bags packed.